Hello, it's Toby here, and welcome back. In today's video, there'll probably be a few today, but in this video, I want to talk to you about why Donald Trump's support, the scale of support of Donald Trump in the United States, is continually underestimated by supposedly objective polls. What's going on? Is it cock-up or is it conspiracy? Well, mainly cock-up. So, we saw it in 2016. We saw right back in the 2016 election, the polls consistently underestimated Donald Trump's support, although one of the omens is Hillary never really cracked 50% in the polls. She did back here, of course. But leading up to election day, when you actually look at the vote share, it's relatively accurate. Although, again, 42, 45, sort of underestimating the actual support Trump would get in the end. However, when it comes down to the states, there was a dramatic underestimation of Donald Trump's support. It was less an overestimation of Clinton's support, more an underestimation of Donald Trump's support. We saw this with Biden versus Trump. We knew Biden was going to get 51%. That's what the polls were telling us at the end, right? That's an average of polls coming up to November. It said Trump 43, and that would be a big result, and that would see, states like Florida flip to Biden, states like Ohio be within 1 point, states like Texas be within 1 point, states like North Carolina tie, right? A big win for Joe Biden, basically. 6 points clear in Michigan. These big margins being notched up. Thing is, this didn't reflect the reality on the ground. Why is that? Well, it does appear that there is a systemic even in 2020 when they did all the corrections and tried to, recorrect it for Donald Trump. What you had is essentially a underestimation still of Donald Trump's support. So nationally it's underestimated, but in all the states where it said Biden was ahead, it's because they had underestimated the degree of support that was there for Donald Trump and his candidacy for re-election. What's it about? Well, as I say, I don't think it's conspiracy. I think it's more cock-up, and I think what's going on is it's a structural problem. So you have a degree of an assumption that Trump is less popular than he is, and maybe some of that, filters its way into the methodology used. But more importantly than that, it seems, particularly because Trump supporters, more than any candidate supporters historically, are less trusting of the political system or even traditional conservative news outlets. They're much less likely to interact with a pollster. It may be that they may be underrepresented in terms of people who are willing to talk to a pollster, and maybe, more affluent, less suspicious of the political system Democratic voters are maybe more willing to talk to a pollster. Maybe a Biden voter is more willing to talk to a pollster than a Trump voter. Maybe a Biden voter is more willing to trust a pollster than a Trump voter. And I think there's something there in that. I think that's the only thing that can explain it. So I think when we're looking at Donald Trump or Trumpian politicians, although particularly Donald Trump, there seems to be a particular problem with Donald Trump. We don't know if it would be the same if it was Ron DeSantis or Mike Pence. However, when it's Donald Trump, what we need to realise is the opponent's support is generally estimated correctly, at least nationally, but the Trump vote share nationally and in the states will be underestimated. Add 5 points just to be safe, right? I mean, look at what it was saying in Florida versus what the 2020 Florida result, what it actually was. That is a shocking failure of the polling industry. I mean, look at that, 51-48, when the polls were telling you it was going to be 49-46. So what's going on there? Well, Biden was within 1 point of what it said, right? But what they underestimated, again, is Donald Trump's support. They said 46. He was actually on 51. Maybe people made their minds up at the last minute. However, that's a pretty big failure on the part of the polling industry and the political pundits. So, lessons going into 2022 and particularly 2024, do not underestimate the support of Donald Trump. We need objective polling data. And if we're not careful, we are going to be complacent about the likelihood of Donald Trump doing well at the next election, because the data is going to systemically underestimate the support he has achieved. Now, I want to quickly show you another map I've been working on. This is one of the scenarios I've been gaming for the Senate in 2022. A 50-50 again, right? I would say if Biden's approval stays low or sinks further, the result will potentially be more along the lines of this. I think if it's catastrophic for Biden, you know, really low approval, like end of Trump presidency levels of approval, it'll be more like this. I think if Biden's approval rebounds to where it was earlier in the year, you know, in sort of early summer, I think we will see a result probably along the lines of this. I don't think it can get better than that. Maybe it can. But I think as of right now, if it was held tomorrow, going off the margins in key states and taking the sort of predictions on here on race to the White House, sort of look at how the different states are performing, I think we would have to anticipate a Senate election result probably along the lines of this, something along these lines. We look on here at, you know, Ohio, tilt, New York, Pennsylvania, leans Democratic, Wisconsin does not. Democrats in Nevada, Arizona, Florida leans. I think that's what you have to anticipate. But yeah, we will see. We will see what happens. Thank you for watching. My name has been Toby, and I'll be back with another one of these videos later today.